Khalil and I did an episode on Experience Builders last week. We were talking about the conference I was just at. There was a great economist that was talking. He had a lot of data from Boston Group and McKinsey and Harvard Business Review. And one of the things he said is their forecast was you will see the best time in the next 2 years will be the middle of 2025, where rates and inflation will both be at their lowest. That's a time for investment. But he said, you will see inflation trend back upwards in 2026. If you are not thinking about an intentional price increase strategy in 2025, you need to have that in place by 2026 when costs start rising again. It's not the time to try and do it then. You've got to have that in place before, to your point about when the market.
Let's talk about some other things. If we all agree that turning cash into more cash is the purpose of business.
Yes, sir. I agree. I absolutely agree.
So there are really three ways to do that. One of them we just mentioned, raising prices, right?
Yes.
Second one is reducing cost, increasing the spread between price and cost. The third one is doing more work with the same resources. Okay,
yes.
There might be more, and if I want people to tell me what they are, because I'm always looking for new stuff, right? But price increases, that's part of it. But we can go out there, what can we do more efficiently, right? I'm going to tell a story using Will Blake, who was on here one time. I don't know, they've got 19 service trucks out. It's different than your business. But one of the things driving him crazy, 19 trucks with 3 or 4 guys on each one, that's a lot of stuff. And that's a lot of stuff going to the convenience store and getting gas and drinking coffee, not only on the way to the job, but on the way back, right? So how many hours is that costing? What can we do? What can we do to increase our efficiency? He bought vending machines and put them in the shop. And he asked the guys, what do you want? I want chips and whatever you want. I'll have it. He didn't give it to them. I still had to buy it because they were going to buy it anyway. But you buy it at the shop, no stopping. And he got a guy, there are all these services that'll come around and fill up your trucks at night for essentially very, very little premium to what you can do it for. And he gained all those man hours back. So he became more efficient. So he wound up doing something Khalil and I've talked about many times on our podcast is, what's it take to do one more job per week per truck? Okay, now that may not, I don't know what the units are for you, Chris, but one more job, how can I get one more dollar per man hour that I invest? I'm investing $100 a man hour for these high dollar guys in Vegas. How can I get a job done with one fewer guys? But now you're really into management because you're not just dealing with these global questions. Oh, I must make more. Oh, you're going, what can I do? Where do we waste time? What machine or device can we buy that will truly replace or truly be more efficient? I didn't buy it because I wanted it. I bought it because it really, in your particular business, I'm sure if you walk around long enough, you start to realize,
Yeah. It's funny. I'm listening to you, Martin, and I'm realizing I all but gave my company a pass when we were talking about whether it was, are we chasing margin? Are we chasing, earnings or profitability? And I said, we've made so much progress on our own processes. And I don't know how much more efficiency, this sounds not naive. And I said, I'm not sure how much more efficiency we can shake out of how we do things. There's always ways you can look at. But what you just said about coming and going to the job sites. And so while my business is different, we will go to a convention center or a hotel venue to set up a job. If we will go to a convention center, hotel center, and we'll set up 10 jobs. And it's obviously, that's a much more profitable show for us. But if we literally looked at can we be honest and say it's at least 20 minutes to stop and gas up and run into the convenience store and get a drink and do it on the way back? And, there's no question. You look at what are the other things do we need 5 men to come in an hour early before they leave to load up the gear, or does it just take one guy or two individuals to do that? And the other guys could show up 45 minutes later
Tell you,
in a
there's
later
another
game.
thing, and I don't know if it would apply because I think you have a lot of union guys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But what I'm seeing more and more, Khalil and I've had two guys on, Pay for Performance and Will Blake again. But
Yeah.
I'm seeing more and more of the guys who are doing it. It's fixed price labor. Okay. Most of the time, the slippage in the companies Khalil and I work with is in
Yeah.
labor, right? Materials pretty well. You can mess that up, but it's labor. When you bid a job, you estimated your labor. And
Yes.
if you estimated your labor and you hit it, and you estimated your materials and you hit it, and you had your margin right, you make your margin, which is pretty good, you know. Well, where does it usually fall off that you don't? The difference between what I planned and what I bid and what I realized in my actual bank account, the slippage comes from labor. So what these guys are doing, and they have both of them have software to do it, is I'm paying $3,000 to set that up. Okay, that's my estimate for labor on
Yeah.
that little project. It's $3,000. I'll give you guys $3,000 if you can do it in half the time. You're making twice your hourly rate.